Hey guys, we are back here for another video. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you guys have not subscribed. And also, if you guys are not following me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and now on Twitch, and that's Twitch, TWITCH, not Twitter. Make sure y'all are following me right now over there on Twitch, especially I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. So if you guys are not following me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch, make sure you guys go ahead and do it now. Now, we have a question. Has Shamea of Real Housewives of Atlanta, has she been fired? That will be kind of quick because we're still in to reunion 2. We have one more to go. But judging from what we saw, it seems like it's been a total flop for Shamea, and the fans are calling for her to get fired, y'all. The fans are sometimey, honey. They love you today and hate you tomorrow. So has Shamea been fired, child, or has she quit? Let's get into it.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
And guys, I just wanted to jump on here and kind of talk about this. I didn't really get into the reunion at all, this last reunion, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm really over, the Real Housewives of Atlanta. For me, it's been a total flop, with regards to how I feel. Okay. I just didn't think that anything gave. I feel like let's just start with one thing at a time. I think that the fans were really excited when Shamea joined, only for her, though, to join this cast and go against Drew, to drag Drew when she did not even have a problem with Drew. And then to get to this reunion and tell us that Drew had a fake purse, when now we're learning that Drew's purse was actually a real purse. But it gets a little bit crazy, though. Why is Shamea so concerned about if Drew's purse is fake or real? Like, does it even matter? And also, Shamea, you don't really have a problem with Drew. It seems like Shamea is coming after Drew simply because she wants to side with Porsha. But baby, Porsha done left her out to dry again, because Porsha and Drew has since now refollowed each other now again on social media. And as we saw on the show, Porsha apologized to Drew. Okay. And so this is actually being shared on the Jasmine brand. As you guys can see, Drew and Porsha is now back following each other, which makes Shamea look crazy because girl, you went through all of that for Porsha and Shamea to be right back in good graces, and now you out here looking like a fool. And when I say a fool, an absolute fool. I feel like Shamea came on here again trying to roll hard for Porsha, and Porsha only rolls hard for herself. Now I have to say, I believe that, Shamea may have some issues with Porsha with some things that happened in the past, but I feel like, if you're going to go on these reality shows, you have to put that coward behavior away and just kind of face things head on. And I feel like Shamea didn't do that, and it allowed Porsha to now drag her. And now the fans is like, don't bring Shamea back. Well, this is what we learned. Shamea doesn't have Peach Holder on here. Now, what we have learned about Shamea this season is that she puts 20 on 10. Now, when I say Shamea put 20 on 10, it simply means Shamea be lying, okay? Shamea does not tell the whole truth. And we learned that with a bunch of different things. Now, we know how the show is edited, but there's been things that she said all season, and when we saw it play out, we like, hold on, Shamea, that ain't that. So Shamea has stated that she actually never had peach holder in her bio, and I wish I would have took a snippet of it, and I'm sure somebody is going to dig it out of their archives, because I remember seeing it, and I actually remember it saying that. But people are speculating, did Shamea quit or did she get fired? Now, I don't think she got fired, but something happened to the point that she decided to take it out of her bio, because I wish I had the receipt to show y'all, but I actually remember seeing that in Shamea's bio. But of course, y'all know Shamea puts 20 on 10, honey, and she said that was never a part of her bio. And I just don't believe it, because I don't remember seeing it like that. Now, let's get into the receipts, y'all. Porsha has provided the receipts. And again, this makes Shamea look crazy for the simple fact she most definitely was bringing up these issues with Porsha, which is not a problem. The problem comes, she denies it and makes it seem like it's the cast. Now, the cast could very well have brought these things up, but she did express her frustration with Porsha, which is valid. But the fact of the matter is, she, for some reason, cannot stand up to Porsha. She cannot be on this show. So Porsha provided receipts and basically said, hey, Shamea had 2 weddings and I did come to one. Well, we knew this already. But the issue is, again, Porsha is not taking full accountability as well, because if you guys watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta during that time, Porsha actually said the reason that she did not attend is simply because she had issues with her pregnancy. Now, in this new season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Porsha said she did not attend because her and Shamea had a disagreement, which should tell you something about Porsha. She puts 20 on 10 too. She lies as well. So that's why I told y'all, I said these two are a match made in heaven, because in all honesty, I was rooting for Shamea, and now I'm learning Shamea and Porsha is simply the same damn people. They are the same people, honey. And I feel like Shamea is doing a lot of backing down to Porsha, because Porsha knows a lot of information on Shamea, and I don't think Shamea wants to go that far with Porsha, and it really makes her look crazy because she doesn't stand up to Porsha, and it's given, get yourself of the show, okay? Now, Porsha posted the receipts and said, girl, I did come to your wedding. Here's the deal. Shamea is not a good person when it comes to going back and forth. I don't know if it's just Porsha. I think it's just Porsha, because she told Angela to take her 99 no's and go somewhere. But it seems like with Porsha, she doesn't know what to say. Is she scared? What is it? Because listen, I'm the type of friend, I love you, but don't come for me, because if you do, I'm going to drag you all in through these streets here. But Shamea don't have that. So Porsha posted the receipts and said, Shamea, I did come to your wedding, but I believe what Shamea was saying, you didn't come to the wedding that I wanted you to come to. So this is what Shamea responded and said to Porsha. Again, I had one wedding that took place in Nairobi, Kenya. What you attended was my dowry ceremony in my mom's backyard. So you see how Porsha is playing games to try to make it seem like she went to Shamea's wedding. Shamea's like, no, that was not. And I believe Porsha already knows this. She just wants to play in Shamea's face. Well, Porsha sent flowers to Shamea. Shamea received them on her birthday week, just before she started filming. What Shamea is saying, listen, I had my peach over a month before we had started filming. You sent me flowers the week of my birthday. And I know y'all remember that because Shamea said it on social media. Porsha is saying she sent Shamea the flowers to celebrate her for joining the Real Housewives of Atlanta. First of all, girl, you're lying too, because why are you sending her flowers during her birthday week and she had the peach for a whole month? So I believe Shamea in this sense, but Shamea is not, like, it's like she backs down, and it almost seems like either she's afraid or she's afraid to be exposed. Now, This is what Shamea said. I only said we never celebrated. You see how Shamea is like, well, I didn't really say that. I said this. It's giving Shamea, you're not really fit to be on this show, hun. I like you, but I don't think you're fit to be on this show. So she said, you can keep your fake receipts with your fake ASS friendship. Also, let's touch on that. I don't believe these girls were ever truly friends. Just because your mother has a relationship with another lady and they bring the daughters, or their children together, you may know that person, they're not really your friend. And I feel like that's the friendship, or what they call a friendship. Shamia goes on to say, it's crazy how I can be considered your lapdog for riding so hard for you, but at the same time, you say I was trying to sabotage you. If you guys recall, on the reunion stage, Porsha stated that she felt like Shamia was trying to sabotage her. And I'm going to be honest, I feel that very same way. So what I noticed with these girls is they definitely put 20 on 10. And I'm going to say that again. And let me just tell you why I feel like Shamea was, in fact, doing that. Because Shamea sprinkled stuff all throughout the season. And then she made it seem like, oh, it wasn't me, it was the cast. Instead of just being upfront with how she felt. Shamea definitely holds some resentment in on Porsha from some stuff that happened in the past. And that is perfectly okay. But the issue here is she never addressed it. And I'm like, you are a grown A woman. How are you letting a whole nother woman play with you about some stuff that you simply need to be like, listen here, this is pretty much what it is. And I feel like Porsha is probably feeling a way about Shamea, because of simply how Shamea has kind of represented herself with regards to everything is okay. It's okay, but it's really not okay, because if it was okay, the cast wouldn't be talking about these things, right? So Shamea goes into saying, hey, I was considered your lapdog for riding so hard for you, but now you're saying I'm trying to sabotage you. I feel like Shamea is doing a play on words, because you being a lapdog is a term that you took. You gave that term lapdog because you consistently did stuff. As we talked about with the situation with Drew, you didn't have a problem with Drew. You didn't need to go after Drew. Porsha is not going after people that didn't like Shamea. In fact, Porsha became friends with Britt, and Britt didn't even really like Shamea like that. So it's like you were really given lapdog, and I don't feel like that is a name that Porsha gave you. I feel that's a name that you really earned. Okay, so Shamea goes into saying, make it make sense. Since I got my peach, you've been trying to find a reason to end this friendship. Again, I believe that part. I believe that Porsha liked Shamea as the friend of the show. Shamea served a good purpose as a friend of the show. And I believe she should probably go back to being a friend of the show. And let me just tell you why. One of the things in being a housewife is you got to know how to read, and you got to know how to read fast, and you can't be scared. You can't be, feeling like you can't say this. And I feel like Shamea, she's obviously at a good, different stage in her life, and maybe she just don't have her read together, because I feel like maybe I think it's just with Porsha. When it comes to Porsha, I feel like she don't have that it factor, and she ain't reading the girl like she should be read. And this is why the fans want her to go some damn where. Okay. Now Porsha posted this receipt basically saying, I did go to your first wedding. But here's the deal. Shamea said it wasn't a wedding, it was a ceremony. And I give that to her. Shamea should know what it was that you came to. There is no discussion about that. But the fact of the matter is, and what we can truly say is, these girls are not friends. They're not. And in fact, I don't believe they ever were friends. I'm sure y'all know people in your life that and sometimes they just say friend. Like, I try to not use that word loosely, because a friend is a special person in your life. And I feel like Shamea and Porsha knew each other. That is why Phaedra was allowed to say things about Shamea, and Shamea feel a special kind of way about it because she kind of felt like, hey, Porsha should have defended me. But I feel like Porsha felt like Shamea was definitely somebody that she knew, but I don't feel like they had that particular friendship. I just don't. I feel like they were just two girls who, you know, their mother hooked them up, and I think they may have, you know, shared you know, time when they were younger, but as they grew up, Shamea even spoke about, I believe she said she went to college and came back and they had kind of met, but I don't believe they actually really had that it factor as it related to an actual relationship.
One wedding.
I did only have one wedding,
which that is also a lie. You went on to
So again, I like Shamea, but Porsha goes on to say, listen, girl, you had one wedding. And here's my deal. How the hell do you tell somebody? I'm sorry. Porsha says she has two weddings. Shamea said that that's not what that was, but do we not have footage of Porsha saying she did not come for this reason because I was pregnant and I was under doctor's orders? And then you said you didn't come because you guys were into it. So Porsha, you are lying. So the fact that now you want to, you know, kind of come on television now and try to make it seem like Shamea is a liar. I don't think Shamea lied about that, but it really makes her look like a liar because she does not know how to read.
the Breakfast Club and said that you only had one wedding.
I did only have one wedding,
which that is also a lie. You went on to
And of course, this was pretty much the dialogue. This is how it went down on the reunion. And it didn't look good for Shamea.
Breakfast Club and said that you only had one wedding.
I did only have.
So that didn't really go it didn't really go over well for Shamea. And fans are like, get rid of her. Like, people are saying, get rid of Shamea. She is not good for the show. And in all honesty, like I've stated, I feel like Shamea does blow things up to be much bigger than they really are. Now, we can just give one instance. Shamea said that Britt had said something about her daughter, and I believe, if I'm correct, what Britt said, it wasn't what Shamea had said. So it just seems like Shamea blows stuff up, and she blows it up to be something that it's actually not. And in all honesty, with these receipts that Porsha provided, they really wasn't no receipts because Shamea indicates what each ceremony is. If the girl said it wasn't a wedding ceremony, I'm sorry, she said it was a ceremony, but it wasn't an actual wedding. Who are you to tell somebody what the hell it was? So that receipt that that Porsha provided of her going to a ceremony, yes, you did go to a ceremony. As Shamea said, it was a ceremony. It was not an actual wedding. Now, again, you know, Porsha had posted that receipt, but here we get into those are the flowers that Porsha sent. Shamea was correct. She said, Porsha, you sent it during my birthday week. So if somebody send you a gift during your birthday week, why would you think it's for something other than your birthday week? And why would you be sending someone flowers for a peach that they received months ago? That don't make any sense. So I am with Shamea on that. And again, y'all, it just goes to say that these girls wasn't really friends like that. That's what they said, but that's not what it was.
Porsha sent me to get them flowers up in this mud. Look at these things. Okay, I like it. I love it. Oh, and you do it. And you do it. Ooh, and they smell so good. They smell so do it. You You gotta, and when you get up, Pete, you get some flowers from your best friend. You get up, Pete, you get the flowers, and you then go in. Oh, 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 oh.
Okay, y'all. So this is an interesting turn. This is a very interesting turn. Shamea just said, when you get a peach, you get flowers from your best friend. Hold on, y'all. I got to go back in my. So now I'm confused because it looks like Shamea received these flowers and she knew that the flowers were for receiving her peach. Oh, y'all, this is crazy. It's just like I said, these girls are not really friends. They are not friends. It's too much mix up in communication. Like Shamea is saying one thing, Porsha is saying one thing. Do I believe that Shamea definitely used the Porsha situation as a storyline? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do I feel like Porsha didn't have nothing going on? Because again, she didn't talk about her husband, ex-husband. She didn't talk about nothing. The only thing Porsha talked about was Drew and Dennis, which was a fake piece of bull crap because she had no storyline. Like we already know that. Same thing with Shamea. What did Shamea talk about? The fake relationship with Porsha. And then now she has something to do with Dennis and Drew with this fake relationship. This season to me gave absolutely nothing. Do I feel like Shamea is or should be a housewife after this season? I'm going to say absolutely no. I feel like she's too connected with Porsha. I don't feel like that. I feel like Porsha, I mean, she's been there for years. I don't see her going anywhere right now, but I feel like Shamea, it does present conflict with her because I feel like she wants to be in Porsha's good graces so bad, which is so crazy that you are doing this. This is a grown ass woman. You are grown. Why is it, you are a married woman that you are so consumed with another woman that seems to don't give a damn about you? But her absolute wanting to please Porsha, wanting to go after Porsha's alleged enemies is really exhausting. Now, did Shamea get fired? I don't think so. Did she quit? It really seems like it. Again, she said that she never had Real Housewives on her bio. Again, I don't have a screenshot of it, but I can honestly remember seeing it, and it did say that. So it's very interesting. Again, Shamea puts 20 on 10, and I believe she's lying about this. I think the second part of the reunion was trash. I don't know what y'all thought about it. The dragging of Drew is exhausting. I mean, one other thing that I didn't like about about Shamea as a new artist to come on and drag Drew's music when people actually like Drew's music, people were celebrating Drew's music. That's another thing that people just didn't like about Shamea. People didn't like that. I feel like them not giving Drew her flowers and trying to make it seem like she's a nobody was exhausting, especially Shamea, when you're trying to do the exact thing that Drew has been doing. And obviously she's been successful doing it. I think people are really sick of that as well. So we have to see, will she be returning? Honestly, if I had to think about it, I don't think that she will for a couple of reasons. I feel like we already know that her husband does not want to be on the show. She spoke about the network allowing her to film without her husband, but I don't think her husband probably want her to be a part of all this negativity. If you guys recall, Shamea did an interview where she said her husband was willing to give her 6 figures. Just give it to her. Like, here, girl, this is your payment for not coming on the show. So don't that tell y'all something? He is really not interested in this show at all. And I believe if he came to her and said this show is negatively affecting our household, yada, yada, I believe that she would in fact quit. So maybe that's why she's taking it off her bio and, she's just not being honest with us. But of course, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments.
got the scoop on lock, spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit